Irvan, let's start with you. I mean, obviously South Africa's committed itself to reducing carbon emissions by the year 2020 by 34%. Which is the most feasible option? You're obviously advocating a solar position. Is that the most feasible option?
I would say that one should only focus on the target itself. I think in the process you'll stimulate local job creation, local green collar jobs. So I think it's important to keep your eye on the targets, but at the same time we will build infrastructure and we will create local jobs.
Solar, is it the right way to go? Because those who say, yes, Africa has the advantage of sun almost all year round, do say that putting up those PVC panels is very, very expensive.
Initially, I think they are, the costs are slightly prohibitive because of the lack of demand. But having said that, we do have one of the highest sources of solar radiation in the world. Versus countries like Spain and Germany, where green tech has really penetrated the market, there are some barriers to entry with regards to investing in solar tech. So I think the cost is a barrier, but I think it can be overcome by educating people that a solar makes sense, it's a good investment, and that it does save you money in the long run.
Daniel Kurylo, your turn. Wind energy is another alternative in a diversified energy mix. It works well in countries like Germany. Would it work well in South Africa and Africa?
That's correct. Yeah, Africa is a great hotspot for wind energy. I mean, with an installed base of wind of only 7 megawatt in South Africa, the potential is huge. There's great wind up the Western Cape and up the Eastern Cape specifically, not least in the rest of Africa as well.
In terms of rolling out wind farms, I mean, at the moment, I'm just aware of a lot of pilot projects, but not really anything significant by way of that regenerated energy feeding the national grid. What are some of the challenges?
There's not too many challenges with feeding energy into the grid from wind energy. Wind energy is a way to feed energy into the grid that's fast, that's clean, that's independent and reliable, and is an excellent addition to any country's energy mix.
Irvan, Eskom has a target of rolling out about 1 million solar heaters by the year 2013-2014. How's the public responded to these initiatives?
Well, we can't work without Eskom or big government helping us to buy into solar water heating. Initially, I think the uptake was slow, but there has been a sort of a hockey stick improvement in terms of people adopting solar water heating. We have a way to go. It's 2013 is a way off. We do have those imminent price increases. So I think we need to keep the rebate in place. But at the same time, create some sort of awareness with regards to solar being exciting, being desirable, and being a good investment. So the public has responded, but I think we should really keep the pressure on creating an awareness around solar water heating.
Daniel, in terms of finding the right funding models and solutions for renewable energy investments, I mean, government, through its integrated program, has spoken about a refit, but it's also one of those things that independent power producers are a little bit skeptical about.
No, I mean, a refit program has been done in many other markets around the world, and has proven itself to be a reliable form to finance wind projects. And I think that in South Africa they've come a long way in deciding that they want to do wind projects, and by issuing the refit for independent power producers is a really motivating factor for them to continue with their development. So I think they're right on target, and just excited to see more development happening in the industry.
If the refit program does offer significant incentives for independent power producers, why are we not seeing many of them coming to the fore? Often they've said that, they have a problem having to sell it back to Eskom. They feel that, the environment is not conducive for competition. What's your view?
No, I think, a lot of developers in South Africa in particular, I speak about South Africa because it's the market that I know best, that I've been working in for the last year in Africa. There's a lot of developers working on wind farms. It's going to be a big couple months coming up. The refit selection criteria should come out in South Africa. And I believe that you will see a very large group of developers putting projects forth. Once the government selects the projects, the wind industry in South Africa is going to be in full swing, and we're going to see a lot of action, and it's going to be very, very exciting.
The public, Irvan, in terms of how we're affected, obviously we're paying higher electricity tariffs because we're told that it's been subsidized for the longest time. So you need to make it attractive to investors by way of getting suitable tariffs. And then secondly, we are being taxed now, things like carbon emission taxes. As a taxpayer, we want accountability. I want accountability. So how do we ensure that if we're paying more, we're seeing better redistribution of our funds?
That's a very interesting question, and I think you're referring to ring fencing those taxes. And I think that the way government works, SARS works, it's very difficult to ring fence those funds. And I think that if more accountability were given, say X amount of green taxes are going towards X amount of infrastructural funding, I think people will be more, I guess it won't be such a grudge tax to pay. But having said that, I think government is working very hard to ensure that the money that we are being taxed on does benefit the right green projects.
Okay, thanks so much to you. And a final comment, Daniel. It's estimated that over $4 trillion per annum is needed to completely overhaul the national economy into a green economy by modernizing buildings, by sorting out electricity grids, expanding on new projects, creating jobs. It's quite cost effective, I think, or quite costly for companies that have to embrace this. Is there a middle way, a more affordable way?
No, I mean, it's definitely something that I think every country in the world is looking towards. A green economy is definitely a way to create jobs, sustainable jobs, responsible jobs. And you know, the wind industry is one of those industries that can do the same. And it's something that I think we'll see the result of in South Africa and Africa very soon.